Hi there, welcome along to Good Morning Transfers. We are into
Taking news to bring you, and this looks like really good news.
Welcome back to Arsenal Trends. Arsenal fans, we've got a huge transfer update that's sending shockwaves across the football world. The Gunners are reportedly pushing hard to land one of the Premier League's best midfielders, Bruno Guimaraes, with talks reaching an advanced stage. Could this be the blockbuster signing that finally takes Mikel Arteta's side to the next level? In today's video, we'll break down the latest reports, analyse where the negotiations stand, what Bruno would bring to Arsenal, and what this deal could mean for the club's ambitions this season. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to Arsenal Trends, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest Arsenal transfer news, breaking updates, and in-depth analysis. Now let's get into today's massive story. Before diving into today's analysis, it's important to understand why the Bruno Guimaraes story has become one of the biggest talking points of the summer transfer window. Arsenal have spent months looking for a midfielder capable of transforming the team into genuine Premier League and Champions League contenders. While Mikel Arteta already has quality in midfield with Martin Odegaard, Declan Rice, Martin Zubimendi and Mikel Merino, the club believe another elite player could provide the depth, creativity and competitive edge needed to challenge on every front. That is why Bruno Guimaraes continues to dominate transfer headlines. Recent reports suggest Arsenal are in advanced discussions with Newcastle United over a potential transfer for the Brazilian international. Although the deal has not been officially completed, multiple reports indicate negotiations have progressed significantly, with a transfer fee believed to be in excess of £70 million being discussed. At this stage, supporters are eagerly waiting to see whether both clubs can reach a final agreement. From Arsenal's perspective, pursuing Bruno Guimaraes makes perfect footballing sense. Since joining Newcastle from Lyon, the Brazilian has developed into one of the Premier League's finest midfielders. He combines technical quality, defensive awareness, leadership and creativity in a way that very few midfielders can. He is comfortable receiving the ball under pressure, progressing play through midfield and creating opportunities in the final third. At the same time, he is aggressive without possession, winning tackles, pressing opponents and protecting the defence. These qualities fit perfectly with the style of football Mikel Arteta wants his team to play. Arsenal rely heavily on dominating possession, controlling the tempo and pressing aggressively after losing the ball. Bruno Guimaraes excels in all these areas. His ability to dictate play would give Arsenal another dimension against teams that defend deep, while his defensive work rate would make the midfield even more difficult to break down. Another important factor is experience. Unlike many transfer targets who still need time to adapt to English football, Bruno already knows the Premier League inside out. He has consistently delivered outstanding performances against the strongest teams in England and has become Newcastle's captain and one of their leaders. Signing a player who already understands the league reduces the risks normally associated with expensive transfers. Financially, however, this would be one of Arsenal's biggest investments ever. Reports suggesting a package worth more than £70 million underline how highly Newcastle value their captain. Newcastle remain under no immediate pressure to sell because Bruno is under a long-term contract and is regarded as one of the cornerstones of the club's project. That means Arsenal must convince Newcastle with an offer that reflects both his importance to the team and current market values. For Newcastle, this is not simply about money. Losing Bruno Guimaraes would mean replacing one of the best midfielders in Europe, a player who contributes both on and off the pitch. He is admired by teammates, respected by supporters, and trusted by the coaching staff. Any sale would require Newcastle to quickly identify a replacement capable of maintaining the team's competitiveness in both domestic and European competitions. One reason negotiations may take time is that Newcastle are known to negotiate firmly. They understand Bruno's market value and are unlikely to accept an offer below their expectations. Arsenal, meanwhile, must ensure they remain within their financial planning while still completing other transfer business before the end of the window. Finding common ground between the two clubs is therefore one of the biggest challenges. From the player's perspective, reports suggest Bruno is interested in the possibility of joining Arsenal if the clubs can agree a deal. Arsenal's consistent qualification for the Champions League, their progress under Arteta, and the opportunity to compete for major trophies are obvious attractions. For any top player entering the peak years of his career, the chance to challenge for Premier League and European titles is difficult to ignore. If the move eventually happens, Arsenal's midfield could become one of the strongest in Europe. Imagine a rotation including Declan Rice, Bruno Guimaraes, Martin Zubimendi, Martin Odegaard and Mikel Merino. Arteta would have tactical flexibility for different opponents and competitions. Bruno could operate as a deep-lying playmaker, a box-to-box midfielder, or even in a more advanced role depending on the tactical requirements of each match. His arrival would also increase competition within the squad. Healthy competition often pushes players to improve, raising overall performance levels. Arsenal's ambition is no longer simply qualifying for the Champions League. Their objective is winning the Premier League and challenging for the Champions League trophy. Elite squads require depth, and Bruno would certainly strengthen that depth. Supporters have naturally reacted with excitement. Across social media, many Arsenal fans believe Bruno Guimaraes is exactly the type of signing capable of taking the team to another level. Others remain cautious, remembering previous transfer sagas that looked close before collapsing. Until official confirmation arrives, many fans are choosing to remain optimistic, but patient. There are also tactical questions. How would Arteta balance so many talented midfielders? Would Bruno start every game? Could Rice and Bruno form a double pivot behind Odegaard? Or would Arteta rotate regularly to keep players fresh across multiple competitions? These are positive problems for a manager, but they still require careful planning. Another interesting aspect is leadership. Bruno has captained Newcastle and demonstrated strong character in difficult matches. Arsenal already have leaders such as Odegaard and Rice, but adding another experienced voice could further strengthen the dressing room. Winning major trophies often depends not only on technical quality, but also on mentality, resilience, and leadership. Looking beyond the immediate impact, Bruno is entering what many consider the prime years of his career. That means Arsenal would not simply be signing him for one season, but potentially securing one of Europe's top midfielders for several years. Such a transfer could become one of the defining moments of Arteta's long-term project if it is completed successfully. Nevertheless, caution remains essential. Football transfers can change quickly. Advanced negotiations do not always end with completed deals. Clubs can disagree over payment structures, bonuses, sell-on clauses, or other contractual details. Until contracts are signed and official announcements are made, nothing should be considered guaranteed. Based on the latest reports, Arsenal appear to be prioritising Bruno Guimaraes over Vinicius Junior Strengthening midfield has been one of the club's main objectives, and Bruno fits Mikel Arteta's tactical needs with his ball progression, defensive work, and Premier League experience. While Vinicius Junior has been linked with Arsenal, those reports are less advanced. At present, Bruno Guimaraes is the more concrete and realistic target according to reliable reporting. At the moment, the key stage appears to be negotiations between Arsenal and Newcastle over the final financial package. Once both clubs reach complete agreement, attention would shift toward medical examinations, contract signing, and the official unveiling. Those steps have not yet been confirmed by reliable sources. Overall, this transfer story reflects Arsenal's growing ambition. Pursuing a player of Bruno Guimaraes' quality shows the club are determined to compete with Europe's very best. Whether the deal ultimately goes through or not, Arsenal have made it clear they are targeting established world-class talent rather than simply signing players with potential. For now, all eyes remain on the negotiations. Arsenal supporters will hope the remaining details can be resolved, while Newcastle fans continue hoping their captain stays at St James's Park. The coming days could prove decisive, but until an official announcement is made, the Bruno Guimaraes transfer remains an advanced negotiation rather than a completed deal. That wraps up today's Arsenal transfer update. The Bruno Guimaraes story is one to watch closely, but remember that the deal has not been officially confirmed yet. We'll continue following every reliable update as negotiations develop. What do you think, Gunners? Should Arsenal do everything possible to sign Bruno Guimaraes, or would you prefer the club to strengthen another position instead? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this update, don't forget to like, subscribe to Arsenal Trends and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the latest Arsenal news, transfer updates, match analysis and breaking stories. Thanks for watching, stay safe and as always...